Okay, so welcome to the today is Wednesday edition of the performance seminar. We have 3 performers planned. We have 2 performers present. So let's get started. So our first performer for today is going to be Kayla. She will announce her name and the piece that she'll be playing for us today, and also turn on her camera, please. And that's important. All right, so that was Kayla performing. You forgot to announce your name and the piece that you're playing, but that was Kayla performing. Yeah, that's all right. That's why we're here, is to discuss that, and also you get the chance to practice performing in front of other people. So that's the whole goal. The goal is not to be perfect, but the goal is to generally just work on improvement and all that stuff. All right. So yeah, so that was Kayla. She was performing Minuet in F by Mozart. So yeah, I am going to start the poll. And oh wait, wrong poll. 1 second. I'm going to start the poll, and Rochelle, you can start filling this out. If you have any verbal feedback, you can raise your hands. Otherwise, just make sure to fill out the poll. Kayla, of course, you can't fill out your own poll, but we'll hopefully be able to get some good feedback from everything. All right. Yeah, so Rochelle, if you want to go ahead and fill out the poll, and then, oh, you already filled out. Okay, cool, perfect. Yeah, so, and then, do you have any verbal feedback to give at all? If you want to go ahead. Or not? No. Okay, that's all right. Okay, yeah. So Rochelle said you played well. All right, awesome. So yeah, taking a look at the poll, you got one vote for well, there's only one other person. You got 1 vote for 4 on your rhythm. So the rhythm was pretty good, I would say. It was a little unsteady in some of the parts, so probably like working on some counting out loud and conducting with that. But overall, I would say like it was pretty much like you played everything in relative to each other pretty evenly, but it could definitely, we could probably tighten up the pulse a little bit more. In terms of notes, you got 1 vote for 4. I would say it's probably more a 3. There were a few notes. You got most of the notes correct. So probably if it were to average out 3 and 4. So probably working on like the few notes that you missed on the score. But overall, you got like a good majority of the notes in terms of like the correctness of all the notes that you played. Pulse, you got 1 vote for 4. I would say it was okay. I'd say it was kind of between a 3 and a 4. The pulse was all right. It was sometimes you slowed down a little bit and sped up a little bit at times. So I think kind of counting out loud and kind of using those tools to kind of help steady up the pulse, along with kind of tightening up the rhythm as well. In terms of dynamics, you got 1 vote for 4. I would say your dynamics are okay. They were kind of the same throughout most of it. So we didn't really get a chance, because we were kind of really working on the memorization with this piece. We didn't really get a chance to really like focus on dynamics and all these other things, articulation, all that stuff. So probably that'd be kind of like the next thing to start thinking about, is like incorporating dynamics along with everything else. And then the last part, articulation. You got a 4, and I'd agree with that. Your articulation was pretty good. There wasn't really any, there's not any really much written articulation, so the articulation for the most part was pretty good in that sense. All right, so yeah.